Dinan has done it again. This is their take on the M2. This is the Dinan M2 S2. It's a simple recipe. You start with BMW's M2, and then you make it way, way better by injecting 81 more horsepower and well over 115 or so more pound-feet of torque. Now we're dealing with 446 horsepower here and tremendous noise. How did Dinan do that? Well, they start with their Dinantronics engine management tuning kit. It basically tells the ECU, hey, you could be a lot better, and we're gonna show you how. They take a factory rebuilt turbo from BMW, they machine it to Dinan specs, add a larger compressor wheel, and bingo bango, more power as well. Then you add the stainless steel Dinan exhaust out back, and you start to see the S2 take shape. Now, Dinan isn't simply all about adding power without adding the ability to handle that power. Now granted, they're dealing with a pretty damn wonderful chassis and platform here in the M2. But you can always make things better, and Dinan has done that by adding massive brakes, super sticky Pirelli P0 Corsa tires on big-ass wheels, and a completely adjustable suspension setup. To rework the suspension, Dinan has fitted a full coilover kit. They've got adjustable camber plates, they've got end links, they've got strut balls, they've got tons of extra stuff. A lot of it I don't know what it does, which is why I sound like I'm rambling, because I am. But basically, the suspension has been reworked to be a whole hell of a lot better. Couple that with those big brakes and those sticky tires and the engine upgrades, and you have a car that is eager to party. Now, I've never driven an M2, so I can't say how it compares. Here's my review of the M2 bits of the car. The seats are excellent. The steering position, I don't notice that it's off-center, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. The steering wheel feels great. The infotainment is easy enough to use, and the Harman Kardon sound system is pretty darn good. But who gives a shit? This thing is an absolutely devilish beast. You would crush a track day with this thing, but it's also comfortable because it still has the adjustable driving modes, so you can do Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus, where Sport Plus actually relaxes traction a little bit until it catches you and saves your ass from hitting that guardrail or that tree. But you can turn DSC off and turn into an absolute hooligan. It's loud. My neighbors don't like it on startup, I'm going to assume. Some of them do. Some of them like it. Not everybody though. It's very loud upon startup. This is how you upgrade a car properly. You don't just do one thing, you do a bunch of things. You throw a whole lot at it, but with the knowledge and expertise garnered from years of doing this and applying things to motorsports as well, and that's how Dinan is able to build an amazing machine like this. It's a complete package. In fact, it is a complete package that you can buy on their website. The signature package, which is basically the engine bits and the exhaust, is around $10,000, so that's not cheap. This package here adds a little bit more. It's nearly $30,000 over the base price of around $52,000, $55,000 for this car. $15,000 of that is just in the wheels and tires. So you don't have to go as buck nasty. There are cheaper ways to get close to this. Personally, I'd throw Michelins on it because I prefer Michelins to Pirellis, but that's super douchey, nitpicky tire bullshit. You could do different wheels, you could do cheaper wheels. I mean, you shouldn't skimp on wheels, but there are cheaper ways to make this. But the meat of this is around $10,000, which to jump 80 plus horsepower and 115 pound-feet of torque in a glorious way like this, done smartly, that's I gotta say, that's a pretty darn good deal, because we're playing in an expensive space to begin with. So that's doing it right. This is a rear-wheel drive car that you can confidently drive very quickly, even with that shorter wheelbase, because if it steps out on you, it's remarkably easy to catch thanks to the fairly quick steering, but it's nice and properly weighted. I know the M2 will get a lot of shit for having electronic power steering. I gotta fact check that, but I'm pretty sure it does. It feels pretty nice here. There's a minor dead spot at the top where it sweeps past straight up, but you get through it really quickly. Someone asked me how this compares to the Dinan M, which is a car I drove a few years ago and remains one of the greatest driver's cars I've ever driven. It's certainly similar. For some reason, the 1M feels a little bit more special. It feels a little bit more raw and raucous and amazing. It could be the steering. There was a little bit more steering feel. It could be the fact that that car had a manual gearbox and this one has a 7-speed dual clutch. This dual clutch in first gear off the line has that traditional clunkiness if you're just cruising around town, but that's easily solved with a dose of right foot medicine. Damn, this car is easy to drive fast, and you want to drive it faster and faster to hear that inline six sing its song. Sing a song. The brakes just whoop, haul you down effortlessly. The gearbox is lightning quick. Again, this package equals wonderful. And take this from a non-BMW fan. I'm not a huge lover of things BMW. I drove the Clarion 2002, which was amazing. I drove the Dinan M, which I love, but other than that, I've never latched on to the world of BMW. Ooh, but I could latch onto this with all my heart. Fun can be had. That's an understatement. Should we do another drift? I kind of feel like we should do another one. Whee! So this car is amazing. It's not as amazing as the 1M, but that was a flash in the pan bit of brilliance from BMW that we might not see from that brand in a while. Enjoy your GTs and sedan coupes and all the other crap you keep buying from them, BMW faithful. But you can just absolutely whip down this road. Now the driving footage we shot on the Hooniverse Highway Hooning Grounds off Ortega. This is being shot on one of the canyon roads not far from Cook's Corner, just because the day we were gonna shoot, it was super windy, it was super cold, I was running late, I have a million excuses, my daughter wasn't feeling well, so yes, this footage driving won't match the driving footage you'll see here. But you can be a nitpicky little biatch about that, or you can just enjoy your free f***ing video.